After visiting over 50 psychics and getting recommended a $100 candle, I realized that nobody knew what the heck they were talking about, and if I wanted to find any answers, then I would have to do it myself. So I decided to take things in my own hands, and guess what? This led me from becoming an engineer to becoming a psychic, and not only helping myself but helping thousands of other clients. Hello everybody, I am Vaishali Nikhade. I am an engineer turned psychic with over 9,000 readings, and I show you how you can leverage the power of the spirit and the power of the stars in order to be able to create momentum in your life. In this video, I'm going to share the messy, unexpected, strange story of the events that led me to becoming a psychic coming from a scientific background. And I have thousands of accurate predictions under my belt. And in the course of trying to convince people in the beginning, when I first started out, that I was really a psychic, I went to develop something called the Cosmic Chronicle, which you will know what it is by the end of this video. It will help you capture your own luck and know what to look for in terms of creating momentum in your life. So here's what you're going to learn in this video. The $900 candle story. I tried to prove myself wrong and failed. The Craigslist experiment that changed everything. The turning point to create a system for verification, creating the Cosmic Chronicle. So let's get started. The first one is the $900 candle story. So we move to the beginning of my journey where I hadn't really worked with psychics before or consulted psychics before. I had studied Vedic astrology and I had a background in astrology, but as far as psychics was concerned, I didn't really know how they worked or what they did or how they did it. So I found one psychic, and this was amongst the first few ones that I found. And what she told me was that there was a dark cloud hanging behind me. I don't know if it's still behind me, but at that time it was hanging behind me. And she would give me a candle and I would light the candle. And once I lit the candle, the dark cloud would go away. So I said, well, I can go and buy a candle from the store and I can light it and hopefully the dark cloud will go away. She said, no, that's not how it worked. She had to give me a very special candle. And I said, okay, so what does it involve? And she said, oh, all it involved was me paying her $900 for this candle. And then boom, the black cloud is gone. Okay, so that was my first taste of what a psychic was or a psychic reading was. So I wasn't quite pleased with her, and I decided to explore a little more. And I went to the next psychic and the next psychic and the next psychic. And everybody started telling me different things. And because I came from a science background, I actually started taking notes. And because that was a habit, I started taking notes, and then I wanted to see that predictions play out in real life, because I realized that if there was even a small amount of truth to this, then I had to be able to see these predictions play out in real life. So after a little while, I had consulted over 50 psychics, and what I saw is none of them knew what the heck they were talking about, and none of their predictions were actually playing out for me. So at that point, I realized that if there was any truth to this, I had to find it out for myself and discover that either this works or this doesn't work. So we move on to the next topic, which is I tried to prove myself wrong and failed. So this is when I decided to predict my own future. As scary as it sounds, I decided to take up the task. So I started thinking that, hey, listen, if they can predict something that happens 3 months down the road, then you should also be able to predict something which happens, say, 3 weeks down the road, or 3 days down the road, or why not 3 hours down the road? So I loved the idea of 3 hours down the road because that was a very small sample of time, and it was small enough that I can make the prediction and then I can verify it within 3 hours. 3 days, Well, it's okay, but 3 weeks is kind of too long of a period to sit and wait and see if this experiment was going to work out. So, like an obedient student who is studying science, I decided to kind of play with this. It was just for fun. I wasn't expecting a lot to come out of it. So, what I did was in the morning, I used to go to the gym in the morning. And before I went to the gym, I would kind of make a note of whatever the prediction was. And then I figured that after I came back from the gym, that was maybe 1 to 2 hours period, I should be able to see what actually happened. So I did that for day one. And whatever the prediction was as far as the gym was concerned, it kind of played out. So then I decided that, oh, one day, yeah, whatever, one is not like a data point. So then I decided to do it for day two. And then the day two prediction also played out. And then I decided to do it for day three. And the day three prediction also played out. Now I was getting really scared because it felt like I was predicting my own future. And I wanted to know now that if I can predict my future, then I should also be able to change it. Think about it. If you can predict it, you should be able to change it. So I used to have what was known as cardio days and what was known as weightlifting days. And this particular day, when I decided to change my future, I clearly remember that was a cardio day. So during the cardio days, I would either I would run on the treadmill or run on the trail, or I would do the Stairmaster, one of these things. Which one I would do, I wouldn't really have the answer to that till I kind of went to the gym, and whatever my mood was, I would kind of do that. If I felt like running, I would run. If I felt like doing the Stairmaster, I would do the Stairmaster. So I decided that there is no way that I'm predicting my own future. I'm going to change it. So what I decided is that I'm going to read what is going to happen during the course of the next 2 hours. And if the prediction says that I'm going to run, then I'm going to go and do the Stairmaster, and vice versa. So that I would have successfully been able to change my future and go against my own predictions. All right, so now what happens is I go and I read for myself, and when I read for myself, I completely was floored and I just fell off my chair. And essentially what that reading showed was a lady at crossroads, meaning that she has a choice and she can decide whether she goes this way or that way, whether she chooses the Stairmaster or whether she chooses the run. And that was the point, or the turning point, which instilled the faith in me that yes, I can predict things and I'm also able to change things knowing certain things in advance. So if that was the case, was I just getting lucky predicting for myself, or would I also be able to predict for other people? Which brings me to the next point, which is the Craigslist experiment that changed everything. So after doing over a week of these predictions for myself, I was convinced that I was able to do the job, for myself at least. And I wanted to kind of experiment on other people, for lack of a better way of saying it. I wanted to kind of try this out on other people and see if it really worked. And how to find the people was a big question. So I decided to put an ad on Craigslist, and I kind of just told them that they could read with me and that I was able to do the predictions and so on. So I got my first call, and the person said that, how do I know that you are actually a psychic or you're just kind of making things up just to take my money? I said, well, that is a valid point. So what I can do is I can actually tune into your energy. I can read for you for a few minutes, and then you can decide whether or not you want to read with me. So she agreed, and essentially I kind of read her for a few minutes, and she said, okay, it looks like you're real, and after that, she kind of paid me, and I did a reading for her for whatever the time was. So then I got my next client, and we came to the same dilemma, which is how does she know that I'm real? And I had to do the same thing. And this continued for 3 to 5 people. And after working with 3 to 5 people, I realized that this was not something which I could do over a long period of time, because everyone was asking me for proof that I was real. So how do I create some sort of a proof which is going to prove to everyone without spending time on each and every person that this is real? Well, that brings me to the next point, which is the turning point, to create a system for verification. So I decided to create a system where not just one person, but maybe 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, however many people would be able to know that I am real. And this system is today known as the Cosmic Chronicle. And essentially what I would do is I would give predictions for a week, and they would be segregated. There is a system behind it, and I can link you below to the Cosmic Chronicles videos where you can see the system behind it, or the frameworks behind it, where even though there's a group of people, how their predictions are going to be kind of valid for each one of them, because the context is going to be different. But I'll link the freebie below, and you can sign up for it and see all the frameworks involved in this. So with this system, I was wanting to test the system. So then how would I test it? And I had, by this time, I had collected a small email list. I sent the email to my list, and it was a test. The only thing is that they didn't know it was a test. So I sent the email to the list, and I told them that this is what you can expect to happen during the week. And one particular lady, essentially I told her that she would have a breakup in her relationship. And she came to me and she told me, oh my God, this is what you said and this is what happened. I'm like, cool, so this is working. So essentially that's how I developed the system. I have tested it for a long period of time now, and over lots and lots of people. So now there is no doubt that the system actually works. So we come to the next point, which is what is the system, or what is the Cosmic Chronicle? So if you watched my last video, which is how to kind of see where the luck is coming from every week, essentially what the system is you get the predictions for the week, and you kind of know what to expect during the week, and essentially you're kind of not going in blind during the week, and you know what to look for and what is coming, so that you don't miss out on any luck. And you can look at the obvious and non-obvious luck in the previous video and see how you can in particular not miss out on the non-obvious luck. So just like how I knew in advance that I was going to change my future because I knew it, if you know something in advance, it is very easy for you to change it versus kind of just getting hit by something on the face. And that is exactly what the Cosmic Chronicle does, is it tells you what to expect in advance so that you're not getting hit on the face by something, and you know what to expect, and you can take the right steps in order to change things or shift things if you don't like what is coming your way. So the link to sign up for the Cosmic Chronicle is below, and if you would like to know how to capture the non-obvious luck that comes your way, that is the subject of another video which I'm going to link here. So I'll see you in that video. Bye.